illness, holiday, or even the dog that continuously licks your face every time you lie down on the floor to practice. And then there are the internal ones: boredom, restlessness, doubt, exhaustion, and often simply the feeling that there are other, more important things to do. Some mindfulness students find a way to negotiate their roadblocks. Others do not. Those who do not will limp through the rest of the course, feeling a bit guilty, judging themselves harshly, chalking up mindfulness on the same list along with all of those failed diets and exercise regimes that would have changed their lives if only they could stick to them. Obstacles to practice are nothing new. Teachings were created on this subject more than 2 millennia ago for Buddhist monks. These obstacles were called hindrances, and it was said that so long as these hindrances were not abandoned, the monks would be indebted, ailing, imprisoned, enslaved, and travelling in a wilderness. Clearly not a desirable state. The 5 hindrances they were warned about are sensual desire, ill will, sloth and torpor, remorse and restlessness, and doubt. Remedies were prescribed for each of these afflictions. For example, one way for a monk to overcome sensual desire for a lovely young woman was to imagine her body once it was dead and decaying. One of the ways to get rid of torpor was to avoid overeating. And ill will, the teachings say, can be transformed through loving-kindness meditation. It's a deeply thoughtful list of hindrances with practical suggestions for overcoming each one. And yet, when I began to teach mindfulness in 2004 and would try, in my own mind, to relate students' problems to these ancient teachings, there often seemed to be a gap. This is partly because both the hindrances and their remedies were aimed at people living in a monastic community. People on modern mindfulness courses are not monks, and therefore their orientation is different. But it is also because our modern dilemmas include expectations and distractions, such as our smartphones, that no one had even dreamt of 2,500 years ago. Therefore, in order to support mindfulness students in the 21st century, it seemed that a new consideration of hindrances might be helpful. Over the years, mindfulness students have repeatedly taught me that hindrances, obstacles, roadblocks, call them what you will, are the big issue. They are the knot that all mindfulness practitioners need to know how to untie if they are to keep their practice alive. Without practice, mindfulness does not exist. While the traditional texts on hindrances are interesting, the humble intention of this book is to provide an update. It is not a matter of reinventing the wheel, rather the aim is to add a few new spokes. This book will do its best to investigate both the kinds of hindrances that we are likely to face in the midst of our busy lives and the approaches that we need in order to negotiate them. Taking a mindful view, the secret to working with the resistances we encounter is to examine them. We need to understand their size, their purpose, their texture, their roots. Only through this approach of being intimate with them, in fact, allowing this examination of the roadblocks to become our mindfulness practice, can we hope to stop struggling with them or finding ourselves completely overwhelmed by the obstacles they present. To quote a children's song, we can't go under it, we can't go around it, we have to go through it. When resistance arises, we need to learn how to move through it. Moving through can only truly occur when we meet and befriend our obstacles with deep awareness. This book offers some thoughts on what that means and on how to do it skillfully, with the chance to be present for each courageous step that we take along the way. There is one thing in this world which must never be forgotten. If you were to forget everything else but were not to forget this, there would be no cause for worry. While if you remembered, performed and attended to everything else but forgot that one thing, you would in fact have done nothing whatsoever. It is as if a king had sent you to a country to carry out one special specific task. You go to the country and you perform 100 other tasks, but not the task that you have been sent for. It is as if you have performed nothing at all. So we have come into the world